Pelicans Daily, presented by Fan Arch. Did you miss me? Did you? Hey, well, I'm here. I'm back. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all been having a great, wonderful, amazing weekend. Hope y'all are spending valuable time with your families. Hope y'all are giving praise and respect to your amazing fathers out there. And shout out to the amazing fathers out there. But Pelicans Daily, presented by Fan Arch. I'm your host, Dylan Bruton. Let's get right to it. Let's not miss or skip a beat. So, as I've had to cover, so sadly, mind you, I don't like covering this, but as I've had to cover, Trey Murphy is somebody who his name has floated around a lot of trade rumors. Now, not really from our camp, but mostly other teams. Other teams are very much interested and very much 6'5". 6'8", 25 years old, 24, 25 years old, 6'8", can create his own shot, can shoot the ball well, can play defense, 6'10" plus wingspan. Get him on our team now. That's exactly like every article, yo. I've been seeing it with the Lakers. I've been seeing it with the Nuggets. I've been seeing it with the Sixers. I've been seeing it with the Clippers. I've been seeing it with just about everybody. Everybody want what we got. And to be able to get certain players, you got to come correct. Now, I don't believe that President Dumars is going to trade Trey Murphy or wants to, but he at least let it be known what it would take, what it would require for him to seriously consider. And I honestly think, this is valid, and if anything, he could ask for more. But I like what it is so far. So the Cold Wire, and this name is not easy to pronounce, but Yagya Bargal. Hey, look, Yarga, if you watching this, my man, I apologize. I try so hard. Word to the Bone Thugs and Harmony song with Akon. I try so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tried, man. But, hey, great article, though. Do want to say that. But via Full Court Press and NBA Central, Full Court Pass and per NBA Central, the asking price for Trey Murphy III has been revealed. And it requires these three key ingredients, these stipulations. 1, a veteran who can contribute in the playoffs, which I agree. Looking at a team like New Orleans, looking at where we're at, we're in a division that's on the up and up, right? We're in a division that people are starting to pay a lot more attention to. And if I'm gonna pick a division out in the Western Conference of the NBA that I believe has strong chance of becoming like all playoff teams, it's that division by far. You got Houston, you got Memphis, you got Dallas, and you got San Antonio. Now, today, recent, and the guy who I talked about in previous videos, but Desmond Bane, he's going to Orlando. Is Memphis blowing things up? We don't know. Do they pull a Nico Harrison and get rid of Ja Morant? We don't know. Shoot, hey, but Ja come to New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? A little 2019 action. Okay, nah. Well, who knows, maybe for another time. But then you've got, but Memphis still, has in place good players to be a talented team. Jaren Jackson III, Jalen Wells, who was a great pickup for them in the draft last year. And then you've got Houston, who they became the second seed in the entire Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? They got young talent galore. Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, Cam Whitmore, Amin Thompson, Tari Eason. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got Jabari Smith Jr. Like, they've got a lot of young talent on that team. Then you got Dallas. Right? Dallas is going to have Anthony Davis coming back. Going to have Kyrie coming back. They still got Max Christie. I was about to say Spencer Dinwiddie, but I don't think he's a free agent. But yeah, Max Christie, Jaden Hardy, and they're not even likely. They're going to get Cooper. I mean, it would be the craziest miss in the world to not pick up Cooper after the aftermath of what happened with Luka. So Then the Spurs, who I've in a lot of circles that I've been around, a lot of people have them picked as the breakout team for 2025, 2026. Which, hey, look, if they find a way to land Giannis or KD, or they get Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper, I think either way they're a team that's ascending. I mean, they nearly were in play in contention, even without Victor when he went out with the blood clots. And Stephon Castle had a great rookie year, won Rookie of the Year. De'Aaron Fox is one of the most explosive point guards in the league. So I mean, like they've got Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan. They've got some guys on their team. So I think of all the teams, like all the divisions in the West in the Western Conference of the NBA, by far this has the chance to be the strongest because you also have the most amount of young talent. The difference with the division with the Lakers, the Clippers, the Warriors, the Kings, the Suns, a lot of their guys are older. Not saying that they still can't be higher tier quality, but they're older, so their ceiling is not what it once was. They're trying to maintain, they're trying to make one last push or effort, but so I just say all that to say that a veteran who can contribute in the playoffs is huge. Getting someone who has the pedigree and someone who has the wherewithal and someone who also knows about just the switch that you have to make. The winning attitude, the winning mindset. That's how you build strong culture. And that's what we're trying to build out here in the Bayou. All right. Then one young prospect with potential, which I like that a lot because I feel like that challenges teams to say, okay, who is someone that we feel is young enough with trade potential, but we're okay with we're okay with getting rid of. And a lot of teams, that's gonna scare off a lot of teams. Make no mistake. It's gonna scare off a lot of teams because you think about it and you go like, I mean, yeah, but what if he becomes, you know what I'm saying? Like that's exactly the position that we would be in if we were actively and openly shipping Trey Murphy. I believe that there is truth to the untouchable comment, but I've said countless of times, I think like the big three of players that I really don't see getting moved: Zion, Trey, and Herb. By far. Maybe you could throw Eve at 3B to Herb's 3A, but I just don't see those three in particular, but possibly four. I don't see them being moved. And DeJounte has the luxury of being injured. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, depending on how he would have finished the season, good or bad, his name would have probably been in trade talk just because he's older, which is crazy to me. Cause I'm like, yo, I remember watching DeJounte Murray coming up in high school. Like he was a dog, but I am a little bit on the older side, so it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's going to make teams have to really ask themselves that tough question. Am I prepared to give up a player that I think could actually be a potential building block? And that's where some teams might have a little bit of buyer's remorse, but it's like you are taking a gamble and a risk. Think about the gamble and risk that the Clippers took by getting rid of SGA. They saw his potential. He was all rookie first team. He was playing great in the playoffs against the Warriors. Mind you, this is the Warriors. This is the last Warriors team with, KD, Steph, and Clay. And the Clippers played them very competitively. Very competitively. And SGA was doing his thing out there. That was like the perfect introduction for the world, even though he hadn't fully arrived to that point yet. And then now, what I'm saying, he's killing it. He's MVP, what I'm saying? So salute to Shea. But, right, they took a huge risk. And at the time, hindsight 2020, right, you're getting a player like Paul George who's coming off his arguable best season, a near MVP finish. I mean, it's so easy again. It's so easy now. But in the moment, and Kawhi, fresh off a championship, one of the craziest and one of the greatest runs with the Raptors, in a 1-year rental for them, gets them to the finals, gets them a championship, the first in their franchise history. Like it seemed like all the stars had aligned. See what I did there? All the stars. Scissor can't. Yeah, okay, whatever. But I say all that to say that like that's really where the separation between the men and the boys. So we're gonna see who's going to come forth with an offer And then finally, multiple first round picks, which kind of goes into that young prospect with potential, but there's going to be a team that's probably going to like say, oh, we got this first round pick from 2032 or 2033 or whatever. And like, that's not super far away, but it's far away enough to go, okay. Like it's in the back of your mind, like, oh, we're getting another first round pick or we're getting a first round pick because some teams might have gotten rid of theirs. But yeah, Trey Murphy as a player, right? The young man averages 21 a game, 6, 7 boards, nearly four, about 4 assists, efficient from the field, efficient from three, good free throw shooter, can create off the dribble, is getting better at it, great floor spacer, athletic, tough defender, just a great human being, a guy that lights up, that has that magnetism. So personally, I don't want us to give up Trey, but this is to answer my own question. Yes, he is worth that asking price, and we'll see who comes forth with an offer. But I don't think anyone's going to present President Dumas with an offer he can't refuse. I just don't see it. But we'll see. We'll see. So next up, and I've talked about him, but Derik Queen, right? So shout out to my guy, Chris Lambert, over at Pelican Debrief. Y'all hear me say his name so dang much. But shout out to Chris, man. He be doing his thing. Derik Queen, Maryland center, 6'10", 250. Enjoyed one of the best freshman campaigns for a big that I've seen in years, and definitely one of the best in the nation. Averaged, about 17 a game, 9 boards, 2 assists. Led them far. Led Maryland all the way to was it the Elite Eight or Sweet 16, I believe, and just overall showed so much versatile skill. I'm not gonna. I've already covered him. I've already done a whole scouting report, so I'm not gonna do that. Y'all done already heard it. You can go back and watch it. But he's got a great touch around the basket, great footwork. He's a great playmaker. Shot 46% from mid range, right? As a big, 77% from the free throw line. He's able to bully smaller defenders and create looks for himself in the post. I mean, there's so much positive with his game offensively. Defensively, that is some of the biggest things that are being held against him. Only averages a block a game. Is not the most athletic. Does not have the highest vertical. Is not always the best at rotating. Is not always the best at sliding under screens. I mean, there's things defensively, but right now, he is the only prospect projected to hit the lottery that we've worked out. We've had 11 different prospects we've worked out. And I'm going to cover some of them, so I'm not going to spoil them all. One that I guess I'll spoil. But I like his game a lot. But Asa Newell, really like his game a lot. He practiced with us. He worked out with us. Ego Demon from BYU. Versatile, very, very skilled. We have been looking at like players who are very like mature, players who are very advanced, but you gotta hit at the park with a pick 7. I'm sorry. If we end up staying at pick 7, we don't trade pick 7, you gotta hit out the park. Now this young man, Derik Queen, has been compared a lot. I've been seeing him be compared to different people. Some of I threw names like. I threw a name like Zach Randolph. I like that as a comparison for him. Even though I also see that with Colin Murray Boyles and them being both lefties is a little bit makes more sense. But I've seen like people on Maryland's Reddit call Derik Queen like Baby Joker. Which, hey, we kid Baby Joker. Can't nobody tell us nothing. It's Baby Joker. Like nobody telling us nan. You know what I'm saying? And you have. But I like the Sengun comparison a lot because Sengun, has averaged last 2 years 20, 10, and 5. Those are great stats for a young big, and he was an all-star this past year. He's arguably the number 1 option in Houston. It's between him or Jalen Green, and I think the ceiling is still very high for him as a prospect. I think he's got many moons to go, and I think Houston is very lucky to have a player like him. And I think if Derik even scratches like the surface of that, right, then that's a pick well spent. And I have a high belief in Derik Queen. I think he is going to I think he's going to be someone that we talk about for a long time. I just feel like his talent, his play style, and just the infectious attitude that he brings and has, and the effect that it had on his teammates at Maryland. I mean, you can't ignore a result like that. You just can't. And the defensive concerns, yes, those are legitimate, those are real. But the young man had 2 blocks and 4 steals versus Penn State. I mean, hey, at that size and that weight to be able to do that, that's no small feat. And I think about, you pair his skill and size and spacing ability and passing ability and post ability with an Eve Missy, right? Who's more of a in the paint big man, gonna block your shots, make you think twice. That's a very talented front court right there. That's a front court that is competing for a long, 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 long time. So there's been a lot of talk with what we're gonna do. I think we're even more of an enigma than any. Yeah, I would say we're more of an enigma than any other team, just because we are in a very unique position with all the draft leverage that we have. The fact that as a team, we're like not too far off from being a playoff team, and also just the New Orleans front office. There's question about how they're going to do and perform. So like we remain ultimately like the biggest mystery and enigma, you know. So we'll see. I'm very excited for this draft. It's coming up soon. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're glued to your TVs to see who we end up getting. But it's gonna come across like I'm hating on them, and I promise you, it's not. But my guy, CJ McCollum, oh man, me and Chris, damn near, you know what I'm saying. We like uh, Captain America and Winter Soldier at this point. It's like, oh man, CJ, why'd it have to be you? I don't want it to be you, CJ. And if you're watching this, man, it ain't got nothing to do with Lehigh beating Duke in 2013. Look, at that point, we earned that loss. You know what I'm saying? We did. Admittedly, it sucked. I ain't want it to happen, but we earned that one. Um, but an article from Pelican Debrief came out from Chris Lambert, and he talked about basically the conundrum that CJ McCollum presents. Right, by no accounts has he really slipped or fallen off. Averaged 21 a game last year on stats. 45% from the field, 34 from three, 78 from the free throw line. Like these are stats that CJ McCollum has been averaging for a minute ever since he broke out, and but he's owed 64 mil the next 2 seasons. So it's kind of like, and he's 33, coming off an injury. I mean, it's it's tough because it's like, do you believe enough in CJ that he can be a winning player that can help get us to the playoffs? Because I mean, he was a big part of that team in 2022, but it ain't 2022 no more. You know what I'm saying? Let's see the old days, them the old days, and that's not that long ago. I mean, that was the year I graduated college. A little fun fact, but still, in the basketball sense, yes. And if I'm a team that is looking at CJ, I'm going, okay, he's still a bucket getter. He's still a good veteran leader. Still someone that players love to be around. Like just a great guy. But do I invest that much capital into him? Do I invest myself that much into him? I don't know. And that's where, because also you got to think about this too, right? He's never been a lockdown defender, and due to all the years he played next to Dame, he never really developed point guard skills. Like he's like, yeah, I can run an offense. You know what I'm saying? I could bring the ball up court, but that's not his bread and butter. That's not what gave his name a different type of weight and credibility. Nor is he someone that is even like trying to be a point guard. Like he's very content on being that shooting guard, right? He was drafted a year after the Blazers drafted Dame with their goal of them being, their star backup, star backcourt of the future, right? Dame and and CJ, and for a while it looked like they had potential to do that. It looked like they had a chance to take another leap, but they couldn't get themselves into that bracket with Golden State, obviously, but not even with a team like Houston or San Antonio. Like they were like in the tier underneath. So it's like, so it's like, are you really a floor raiser or what? Like, so there's just a lot of questions that are being asked about CJ right now. Make no mistake, because as I've said time after time ad nauseum, he is by far the most expendable player. By far, it ain't even up for debate. Just because where he fits in the timeline, but still being effective as a player. It's tough. I mean, he went on a run from late December, early January, averaging 28 and a half a game. He had a 50-point game versus the Wizards with 10 threes. I mean, it's so tough to gauge. It's so tough. I don't fully know, right? But I've said, like, by far, he is the most likely trade candidate. Now, a guy who I don't want to be traded, don't leave. Don't leave. It's Herb. That was purposely bad. I actually, I got a little vocal ability. That was purposely bad, y'all. But Herb, yo, I don't want us to lose Herb. I've had to talk about Herb quite a bit when it comes to trade rumors. It seems like, again, Herb and Trey are very attractive candidates for being traded, very attractive candidates to be picked up by another team. They're both young. Trey is 24, 25. Herb is my age at 26. So they're still both in the window of being championship level players and guys you can build around. And shout out to Clutch Points with Julian Ajeda. I was like, if he sees this video, hey, Julian, my bad, my man. But Pelicans insider Fletcher Matchell calls the trade rumors for Herb Jones BS, especially involving the third overall pick in the draft. What y'all think? Personally, I feel like it's two things. I feel like they could be BS, but I also feel like that could be like a strategic smokescreen. You know what I'm saying? What? Because you gotta think, like, the goal for, if you're a GM, is to see what team is gonna get desperate enough to throw you a crazy offer, right? An offer that you cannot refuse. And with Herb Jones set to make basically 14 mil next year and 14.8 mil in the final year of his deal, it makes for a tough question of, like, do you try to get assets out of someone who is going to be able to still contribute, still have a championship impact? Do you want to go through that? Do you want to go through the teammate chemistry not being the same, the fans not like? There's all these different questions that are being asked right now. Personally, I think the risk outweighs any reward. I just don't see it. I don't see what the draw is to trade Herb. But I know I rap with the fact that, Herb is probably like the most unslanderable person in the Pelicans fan base. Easily. Easily. I don't be seeing threads on him. I don't even see crazy tweets. And the Pelicans fans that I know in real life, I don't hear them talk like that either. So I feel like, yeah, it is BS. That is, word to Chris move. That's BS. Like, I'm not buying it, yo. I'm not buying what you trying to sell me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not. I agree. I feel like a lot of it is cannon fodder. I feel like a lot of it is, again, a smokescreen. But at the same time, you never know. You never know. Because nobody saw Dallas trading Luka. I refuse to believe that. If you say you did, like, I don't believe you. We don't believe you. You need more people. So, and Herb is not Luka. He's not, he's not a better player. But in the sense of, like, just that unexpectedness of someone who looked like a franchise cornerstone, it's like, wait, you got rid of him? Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like it's for everybody's best interest to not get rid of Herb. Simple and plain. Listen to offers. Don't go over the top with it though, because you don't want to give a different type of motivation for a team where they're trying to still figure out their identity, right? You want to make things as clear cut, straightforward, no confusion as possible. You don't want them to be like, well, are we like a playing team, or like are we just here, or like are we still competing for the lottery? I mean, like what I'm saying, like you want it to be clear. And with Herb, you know what his talent suggests. You know what he's capable of. I've said countless of times, I think I see a lot of Tayshaun Prince potential. Tayshaun Prince was part of a lot of great Detroit Pistons teams from '03 to '08 especially. All made the Eastern Conference Finals. So, yeah, I'm glad that Fletcher Matchell or Fletcher Machel, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I'm glad that they called the trade rumors for her BS. We ain't trying to get rid of her. We want to keep her for as long as possible. So, yeah. But it is here that I bid you farewell. It has been an absolute pleasure. As always, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Follow Fan Arch on all social media. They're doing so many amazing things. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Dylan _Bruton 10. If you want to talk Pelicans ball, hey, give me a call. Give me a call, good or bad. I love the comments. I love the support. It makes all the difference in the world. So, hey, stay tuned for more. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Number 1, Pelicans Daily, baby, presented by Fan Arch. So, hey, go do something good. Go spread some love. See y'all soon.